In this video, we are going to see how we can install and configure Android Studio so that we can use it to run our Flutter apps with the Android emulator. So if we go back to our Flutter setup page for Windows and we scroll down, we can see that here there is a section about installing Android Studio. And here is a link to download and install it. So I'm going to open this link on a separate page. And over here, I get the download button. So I'm going to press on this and I'm going to accept the terms and conditions. And this will save the file in my system. Now, this is going to take a little bit of time to complete. So I'm going to pause the video here and resume when the download is complete. Our Android Studio download is now complete and we can double click to install it in our system. Now this is going to start the installation, which might take a little bit of time. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of seconds. Now, depending on the version of Windows, we might need to grant system permissions to install Android Studio. And once we've done that, we get this wizard which we can use to install Android Studio. So here we can press next. And on this screen, I want to make sure that both Android Studio and the Android virtual device are selected, because the virtual device is what we need in order to run the Android emulator. So I can tap on next, and then I can choose an installation folder if I want. And then I can press install. Now, once the installation starts, it might take a bit of time to complete. So here we can take another pause and resume the video when this process is done. The installation is now complete, so I can press on next, and then I'm going to click on finish so that I can start Android Studio. So this also might take a little bit of time, so I'm just going to wait until Android Studio starts. So Android Studio is now starting. And we are now taken to this wizard where we can configure Android Studio. Our next goal here is to set up the Android emulator, which we will use to run our Flutter app. So here I'm going to press on next. I'm going to go ahead with the standard setup. I can also choose the Darkula theme, which is my favorite, but feel free to take the other one if you like. And this is a screen that shows us various different components that need to be installed as part of Android Studio. So we're going to press on finish, and this will start a new download. So I'm going to pause the video again and resume once the download is finished. Okay, so all the components needed by Android Studio have now been downloaded. So I can press on finish to complete the installation, and I'm taken to this splash screen. So here I can see multiple options, and once again our next goal is to install an Android emulator that we'll use to run our Flutter apps. In order to do that, we must first get to the main window in Android Studio, and to get there we're going to start a new Android Studio project. Now, we don't care about this project in itself, we just create it so that we can get to the main window. So here I'm just going to select empty activity, and then I'm going to press next. And I don't care where this is stored, so for now I'm just going to press finish so that I can create a new project. So this is now ready, and if I press on finish, Android Studio will start. So while we wait for the project to be created, I want to say that it's taken quite a while to get to this point. And all the necessary download steps are not well documented in the Flutter setup instructions. So I hope that having them all recorded for you in this video is going to be useful. Now we are finally ready to set up our Android emulator, and we are going to see how we can do that in the next video.